certificate. And suddenly there they were, in class after class, with young men and women who were seeking a way to define what were the curriculum needs for an African university. And that was what they were after. And I remember one story which epitomizes this. The professor of history, Terence Ranger, after spending the first 3 or 4 weeks on the pre-colonial history of tribal movements in Africa, and history material that the students had never heard of, knew absolutely nothing about, and got more and more sort of confused and bewildered. This isn't history. And finally 2 of them came up to him and politely made that point and asked, well now, when are we going to study something that we already know? And Terry said, well, what do you have in mind? And they thought for a moment, and they said, well, the wars between the states and Renaissance Italy. And that's history. And so they had to be moved from that view to an appreciation that this was a new undertaking, and it was one that everyone would benefit from, and quickly came to see that they would. One other anecdote, the literary, as a hobby in the first year or 2 after independence, had translated from English into Swahili, into Swahili verse. And he published in, I guess it's early '64, he published Julius Caesar. I remember asking him, oh, why did you choose Julius Caesar? I mean, Julius Caesar gets killed in this. And he said, well, it was the school certificate assignment. It was the only Shakespeare I really knew. We had as a number 2 man, an English ex-colonial servant whose Swahili was excellent, and who was also a graduate from Edinburgh in English, honors graduate in English literature. And so he knew both his Shakespeare and he knew his Swahili. And he sat down with this book and made detailed notes on it, page after page. And I said to him, his name was Jock Snaith, I said, Jock, you must send that down to the State House. There's been a lot of laudatory reception to the publication of this, but all of it uncritical and unscholarly. And so, quite hesitantly, he did. He sent his notes, critical notes, down to State House for the President's perusal, should the President wish to see them. Well, I'm told that on receipt of these notes, he immediately withdrew to his study and didn't reemerge for several hours. And the next night, just at sort of tea time, the Jock Snaith's doorbell rang, and he opened the door, and standing on the doorstep was President Nyerere, holding his notes all by himself, saying, have you got time to chat with me about these. And so they went off and had their chat. And that story captures the common spirit that imbued both the first independent government of Tanzania and the university as it was striving to develop itself. I'm very grateful for your visit, Your Excellency and Mr. Vice Chancellor. It moves me greatly to be remembered. I like the idea of there being a Pratt building. And somehow or other, maybe I'll find an occasion to get well enough to get there. So thank you very much indeed.
Marcus and Anna, why don't you get in there as well?
And me.
Yes, yes. And you.